The smell of illegal substances around here is pungent. Sup everyone, I'm back in Manchester, rocking the double denim. I don't know if double denim's cool in 2018. I mean, if it's not cool, at least I'll sort of fit in with the hipsters. Today's just a quick update video, but I thought I'd come outside to film it because it's sunny. Not that you can tell because we're in the city and there's just shade everywhere. It's quite difficult to find the sun here. Also, other good news, you might remember this flask from other videos, most recently the video I did about sunrise and when I was walking around the lake and stuff. And I was complaining because in my sleepy state at 5:30 in the morning I'd filled it with tea rather than coffee, and I always fill it with coffee, and even though I cleaned it out, that day it basically tasted like a mix of tea and coffee, which was completely disgusting. But today I filled it with hot chocolate, so it basically tastes like a mocha, which is perfect. Also, more broadly, pretty much this entire video is about that video that I did at sunrise and by the lake. Let me explain. Sorry, I'm manually focusing and it focus peaks, so my face basically lights up blue when it's in focus, and seems to work best when I use my teeth as an indication, so I think that's in focus. Yeah, so basically that video was just a day-long ramble, both in the walking and talking sense. And as I was walking around the lake, I was waffling on about various nonsense, and I brought up a few topics that I felt like I could really use your help and suggestions on. And your comments were so helpful. So yeah, pretty much the first thing I brought up in that video that I felt like I needed some guidance on was, how have I ended up back in the shade? Doesn't matter. Yeah, the first thing I brought up really was what I should be talking about in videos like that, where I'm just sort of walking around with a camera and spending my day talking nonsense. I didn't really know what topics I should be covering, and it turns out that on a photography channel, people would like me to talk a little bit about photography. Who'd have thought it? I mean, it seems very obvious now that you've said it, but yes, I can talk more about photography, about what's going through my head when I'm looking at certain compositions or what settings I'm using. I can feature the settings alongside the photos. I mean, I'm not sure how much that's going to help people very often. I did a video about how it can help with guessing focal lengths and stuff a couple of weeks back, but other than that, I don't know how helpful it'll be, but I'll do it if some people would find it helpful. And yeah, just talking about what's going through my head, maybe the planning process, the composition process, as I said, how I'm thinking about editing the image as I take it, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I can definitely cover that kind of thing in those videos going forward. Also, it became clear that some people would find value in me talking a little bit about the places that I'm at in those videos, which I think makes complete sense. I should definitely start doing that. I just need to learn a bit more about the places before I go to them, because currently, as I'm sure you've noticed, I barely know the names of them. And over there are some castle ruins called Better. Another thing I felt like I needed some guidance on, by the way, if you don't know what video I'm talking about, I'll link it here. Yeah, another thing I felt like I needed some guidance on was Patreon. So a few people on this channel had suggested that I set up a Patreon. They thought it might be a good way to sort of grow the channel and help me fund it and progress it. And I had mixed feelings about it. I talked about it a little bit, and it was interesting to hear your thoughts in the comments. I'd say that of the people that commented about Patreon, maybe 80% of the comments were positive, and people thought that it was a good idea, and 20% thought it was negative, which was a bit of a surprise to me. I expected it to be 50-50, but I think I'm going to give Patreon a miss. And the reason for that is because I don't like direct debits or monthly commitments, because I know from personal experience that they are the most annoying things to spend money on when you forget to cancel them. When you look at your statements or your online banking, and when you forgot to cancel something and you're giving money to a cause that you don't really want to give money to, that's annoying, and I don't want to be the beneficiary of money that wasn't intended for me. So I don't think Patreon is the way forward for me. Having said that, I think there are some interesting opportunities for people who feel like they want to help me and this channel. So I've thought of kind of 4 things you can do. There might be more in the future, but 4 for now. And yeah, here they are. Hang on, first, look how cute this dog is. Okay, so you might remember, get rid of these, ridiculous. You might remember that the reason Patreon came up was because I was talking about how I was getting lots of emails and I wasn't able to dedicate the time to answering the emails because YouTube wasn't really generating much money for me, and therefore I had to do other stuff to earn money. And I think certainly for the foreseeable future, that will always be the case. But I think there are things, as I've said, that can be done to maybe shorten that time frame and get this channel to a place where I can, if not work on it full time, work on it a lot more and help a lot more people and produce a lot more videos and all that kind of thing. So the first thing I'm thinking, and lots of you suggested it, is monthly Q&As. And I really like this idea for a number of reasons. Firstly, I'll be making more YouTube videos if I make monthly Q&As, and therefore that will hopefully benefit the growth of the channel. Secondly, lots of people will see the answers, which will hopefully help more people. And thirdly, there was a thirdly. And thirdly, hopefully more people will have their questions answered than if I have to email people individually, because that just takes loads and loads of time, whereas in a Q&A I can group questions together and I can hopefully give more detailed and thought through answers than I can with emails. So yeah, monthly Q&A sounds pretty good. I'll do the first one next Wednesday. So if you've got questions, let me know in the comments of this video and hopefully I'll get to them next Wednesday. Now there were a few people that didn't really like the idea of Q&As, I think because there are other tools that can do the job, things like forums and Facebook groups and stuff, and I get that they might be favourable in some ways, you know, they're searchable, they're a bit easier to use, a bit easier to find your question maybe, but yeah, I think they'd be seen by less people, I'd find them harder to monitor, and I'm not sure they'd be optimal for growing this channel, which is I guess one of the aims of considering these things. So yeah, I think monthly Q&As on YouTube, it's going to be a good way to go. Thing number 2 is selling prints. Now I already sell prints. I use a printer here in Manchester for my composite prints, and every time I get 2 or 3 orders I go in there and I sign them and then they ship them off. This is a bit different. I've been thinking for a while, and I've been prompted by a comment in that previous video I've been talking about, of getting a photo printer, a professional photo printer, and selling my own prints from photos that I feature in these videos. And I think maybe the best way to do it is to sell them for 24, 48 or 72 hours, or maybe even a week after the video goes live, and then when that period's over, I'll never ever sell those images ever again. So I'd probably sell them, I don't know, A4 size, fine art paper, pigment inks, I'd sign them, and then once that period's over, however many I've sold, that's how many is in the edition, and I'd never print any more. And I think what I really like about that idea is that the whole premise of doing things like this is to grow the channel. And if in 2 years' time somebody is watching previous videos and they see previous images, they won't be able to get hold of them, and people that are watching the channel now, kind of the people that have supported the channel from the real early days, they will have access to them. And so if you buy a print from now, chances are hopefully it'll be a much smaller edition size than it will be in kind of 2 years' time, when hopefully the channel has more viewers and subscribers and stuff. So I think that's what I quite like about it, is that people who are here early on get kind of early access to images that are hopefully going to be rarer in future, because they'll be more exclusive and there'll be less sales. That's the thinking. Thing number 3 is, well, there are a number of people who watch this channel and they don't even like photography, which I think is awesome. And there are also people who like photography who've told me that they don't really have the wall space for a print, even though they'd like to support me and the channel somehow. And for those people, what I've done is I've populated my website with absolutely nothing. Let me explain. If you go to my store, you'll find a product labelled absolutely nothing, and what you get for absolutely nothing, which costs £1 by the way, I mean you can buy however many you want, they're completely unlimited, but they cost £1, and what you get for that £1 is well, absolutely nothing. You get nothing. What I get is a bit more of an opportunity to spend more time on this channel, and therefore hopefully produce more and better videos. But you know, that's not a guarantee, that's more a hope. Yeah, if you wake up in the morning and for some reason you're just dying to contribute to this channel and you don't want to buy a print, that's the way to do it. Buy absolutely nothing. Thing number 4 is affiliate links. Now I think some people do a much better job than others at describing what affiliate links are. Basically, if you don't know, if you go down to the description of this video, you'll find a load of links to the gear I use. If you click on one of those, it should take you to Amazon, and if you buy anything from Amazon within the 24 hours after that, then I get like a 3 or 4% commission on the amount of money that you spent, I think is how it works. So basically, if you buy coffee or detergent or a camera, whatever it might be, I get a little bit of a cut. So you hopefully get the best price because you've gone to Amazon, which is typically the cheapest. Amazon gets the business, and I get a bit of a cut for sending Amazon the business. Everyone wins. So yeah, affiliate links, another great way to help. I said there were 4 things, I've just thought of 2 more. Can you tell I'm running out of places to do these clips? So thing number 5 is, well, it's about ads. I watch way more YouTube than I make YouTube videos. And it always annoys me a bit when I'm watching a video that's like 10 minutes long and there's an ad or 2 or 3 ads right in the middle of it, particularly when the creator has like millions of subscribers. It just, yeah, I don't particularly like it. But particularly when it's a small channel, I try my best to stick with it if the content is good. So if there's like a 15-minute video and there's an ad right in the middle of it, if I'm enjoying the video, I try to grin and bear the ad because it does make a big difference to your ad revenue. So if you've got an ad at the start of the video and an ad in the middle, it doesn't quite double your income. You don't typically earn the same amount from the second ad that you do from the first ad at the start of the video because not everyone stays to the halfway point, particularly if you've got an ad in the middle. But if you're enjoying the video, if you like the creator, then yeah, just try and stick with it because they do get more money and that should help them keep creating stuff in the future. That's the theory, but I appreciate it's annoying. As I say, I watch more YouTube than I make, and I don't like ads. And thing number 6 is, well, you're already doing it actually, just watching the videos is very helpful to the success of this YouTube channel, obviously. So yeah, if at some point I go through like a really bad patch of making awful, boring, horrific videos, just please stick with me as long as you can. Anyway, that concludes the sales pitch for the time being. I don't really want this channel to be about plug and just, you know, money and stuff, so I've tried to contain it into this one video. I will be probably talking about prints more extensively in the next few weeks as I get a printer and sort out this process, so yeah, I'll mention that in the not too distant future, but the other stuff I'll kind of try to keep to a side and not really talk about them all that much because, well, I've mentioned them now. The only other thing I was going to mention in this video, in this sort of update roundup video, was compositing. So a lot of people in the comments of the video that I've been referencing today were asking me if I could talk more about compositing and how I bring those images together and how I edit them, and on sort of vlog days like that just talk more about the process for compositing. So I thought I should mention that at the moment, as you might have noticed if you follow me on Instagram, thing 7, no, if you follow me on Instagram you might have noticed that I've but I've not uploaded any composite images for a little while, and I've just been uploading kind of other kinds of photos. And the reason for that is that, certainly as far as personal work, I'm going through like a bit of a creative lull, and I'm a bit bored of compositing right now. And it's happened before numerous times. It usually lasts sort of 2 or 3 months. I think we're in month 2 of me not having any ideas or not really feeling like sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours editing one image. I'm sure the enthusiasm will come back, but for the time being I'm just enjoying other kinds of photography, and while that's the case, I'm unlikely to be talking about compositing because those aren't the images that I'm making when I'm doing those vlogs. So I just thought I should address that because a number of people were talking about them, and I thought it made sense too, because if you follow my Instagram you might have wondered why the images have sort of changed over the last month or so. So yeah, thought I'd bring that up. I really hope that the videos don't get too much more boring than this one. It has just been me asking you for stuff, which is a bit weird and uncomfortable, but I appreciate you sticking with it. And finally, the only other thing to mention at this point, I think, is that I am aiming, once again, to get to 2 videos a week as a normal sort of upload cycle, like one every kind of Wednesday or Thursday maybe, and one on a Sunday. I'm not committing to 2 videos a week, I'm aiming for 2 videos a week. Big difference, and yeah, we'll see how that goes, because I've tried to commit to 2 videos a week before and it's not gone very well. I mean, the issue really is quality. I mean, I don't want to get to a point where I'm just uploading videos that are essentially just asking you for help getting me more money. No, I wouldn't want that to happen. Thanks for watching.